Welcome to our Asian Star Trend channel. Today we have the following news. Hope you and your friend Chun has always been a magnet for buzz, but his upcoming mini-series Zhai Yiying has turned that buzz into a roar. Only months ago, viewers were squinting at Good Little Girl, trying to reconcile a towering 187cm leading man with 158cm Yin. Even platform boots and clever camera angles couldn't hide the dad and daughter vibe that drifted across the screen like unwanted static. Cut to today. First look stills drop at dawn and the internet combusts by breakfast. Standing beside 169cm Zhai Yiying, Chun no longer looks like he's guarding a younger cousin at a carnival. Instead, the pair meet eye to eye quite literally and the chemistry crackles. A charcoal trench coat brushes against a wine red leather jacket, one smirk answers another. Scrolling fans swear they can hear the click of a civil affairs office stamp, yet the height match is only the headline. These two first tested the waters in last year's corporate thriller Undercurrent, bantering in boardrooms with a timing so tight it felt choreographed by a metronome. Zhai Yiying promises to push that rapport into wilder territory, rival entrepreneurs who trade market share by day and philosophical midnight texts by midnight. Think screwball comedy 1 minute, existential stare down the next. That tonal whiplash is exactly the point. Love between adults, the show argues, isn't a cotton candy montage, it's a duel where laughter parries fear and tenderness lands the final strike. Forget the cliché of the adorable height gap. Viewers are getting a masterclass in equal-fitting romance, where wit matters more than wedges and soul alignment outrank centimeters by the final frame. You may find yourself glancing at your own relationships, wondering not who stands taller, but whose spirit stands shoulder to shoulder with yours. Chun and Zhai Yiying's on-screen fate didn't begin with Zhai Yiying. Rewind 2 years to the set of Undercurrent, when both were still green in the game. Back then, a single blooper could dissolve into laughter. He'd scratch his head sheepishly, she'd giggle uncontrollably, until the director snapped, "Are you two filming a high school rom-com or what?" Yet even then, something electric flickered beneath the surface, a raw, unpolished sync that hinted at deeper potential. Now reunited, that unspoken rhythm hasn't just lingered, it's matured into something magnetic. Take, for instance, the office confrontation scene. Zhai Yiying, eyes glistening, throws down a divorce agreement with trembling hands. Chun slams her against the window, jaw clenched, his voice breaking as he growls, "Try leaving. I dare you." In lesser hands, a line might play as standard domineering drama fare. But Chun infuses it with the desperation of a man teetering on emotional ruin. Behind the monitor, crew members held their breath. When the scene cut, everyone realized Zhai Yiying had shed a real tear, drawn out not by script, but by chemistry elsewhere. At a tense negotiation table, their verbal duel ends with a crimson lipstick print stamped uncannily on the financial loss line of a spreadsheet. These are not just lovers, they are warriors, battling through affection, ambition, and unresolved scars. The result? Viewers are calling it a masterclass in adult love. It's not about fairy tale fluff. It's about navigating wreckage with tenderness, where every glance holds both a challenge and a promise. In Chun and Zhai Yiying's hands, love is war and also, strangely, home. This rising obsession with height difference between romantic leads may seem superficial at first glance, but dig a little deeper, and it reveals much more about the unspoken codes governing both our screens and our lives. Why does a taller man paired with a shorter woman continue to dominate not just casting decisions, but also social expectations around relationships? It's a question that touches on decades of ingrained gender norms. For years, mainstream media has reinforced the idea that height equates to dominance, especially male dominance. Idol dramas have thrived on this visual formula, the towering male lead, the petite female counterpart. It's cute, it's comforting, but it's also limiting. This aesthetic norm has silently built a cage around what love is supposed to look like, and in real life, the consequences ripple. A friend of mine, 175 centimeters tall, stunningly intelligent and beautiful, once confided that she's frequently rejected during matchmaking. The reason? "You're too tall, it's intimidating," or worse, "I prefer someone more delicate." How often have we heard this before? As if a woman's height somehow translates into being unmanageable, as if romance is a matter of scale, not soul. Equally outdated is our enduring fixation with the alpha CEO archetype. The cold, commanding male lead, rich enough to buy affection and entitled enough to demand it. But Chun's portrayal in Zhai Yiying offers a welcome subversion. His CEO doesn't overpower with wealth or stature. He burns with restrained pain, fights with emotional vulnerability, and reveals that real tension comes not from physical difference, but from psychological parity. This is the romance we didn't know we needed: equal, intricate, magnetic. Not built on clichés, but on two minds daring to meet on level ground. Rewind to the explosive crying scene where Zhai Yiying's character learns the truth about her identity. It was a moment that didn't just tug at the audience's emotions, it detonated them. From disbelief to breakdown, to the visceral dry heaving that followed, every beat of her performance thrust Zhai Yiying's acting to the top of trending charts. But as the camera panned to Chun's trembling fingertips, backlit and silent, it became clear, the pain in his eyes burned deeper than any single tear. This wasn't acting, it was possession. Actor and character had fused, their souls indistinguishable. That's what happens when performance transcends craft. When a role isn't worn like a costume but lived, breathed, and broken into. At that point, height, appearance, surface details, they all fall away. The only question that matters is this: when you fall apart, can the person opposite you catch the constellation of your unraveling? And isn't that the truest definition of CP chemistry? Not some algorithmic ideal of the perfect height difference, but a visceral collision of energy, emotion, and mutual vulnerability. That spine-tingling recognition when two souls meet and mirror each other on screen. This scene and the audience's reaction to it is a quiet reckoning. A reminder to creators and viewers alike: strip away the clichés, let go of the checklists. Whether in drama or daily life, real connection doesn't care about symmetry or stats. What lingers, what matters, is the resonance between people. Chemistry isn't cast. It's felt. And when it's real, you don't need a tape measure to see it. We often speak of fairness and respect, yet when it comes to the topic of height, why do we so readily erect invisible barriers? This ingrained aesthetic bias doesn't just distort our understanding of beauty, it narrows the possibilities of love itself. In truth, the most dazzling sparks often arise not from textbook perfect pairings, but from those that defy the mold, surprising us with their authenticity and fire. That's precisely what makes Zhai Yiying such a breath of fresh air. Instead of chasing fairy tale ideals, it gives us romance rooted in reality, messy, tender, stubborn, and true. It doesn't promise a picture-perfect ending wrapped in cinematic glow, but dares to explore the everyday friction of adult love, mismatched schedules, unspoken fears, late-night arguments, and the quiet grace of choosing to stay, again and again in this world. Chemistry isn't about height, symmetry, or visual tropes. It's about balance of spirit. About two people meeting as equals, challenging and completing each other in the push and pull of real life. That's the kind of love that resonates, not for how it looks, but for how deeply it's felt. So perhaps it's time we stop obsessing over the perfect height difference and start celebrating the perfect soul match. After all, love isn't a photo shoot. It's a lived experience. The days are yours. The love is yours. And whether the shoes fit, only your own feet can say. Isn't that what really matters?